This is Dr. Bowman, and I wanted to bring to you the lecture that we missed the first class because of the equipment being down. That gives a detail on the course syllabus. So this won't take but a few minutes, but we need to go through the course syllabus. You're looking at the page, and what you see in front of you is page 1 of the course information document. The course title is CRCJ, or Criminal Justice 5353, Criminal Justice Organization Theory and Management. You have access to this through Blackboard. If you look onto Blackboard, you can follow along with me and read, and that way I won't have to read this to you verbatim. Please look at section 2, the course description, then section 3, the course objectives. Know that we'll, during the course of this course, look at theories of public, police, and private organizations. We'll see the similarities and differences between all of them. We'll take a pretty close look at police culture and subcultures, as well as cultures and subcultures and other criminal justice organizations. We'll look some at leadership and history. We'll look at administration and ethics and ethical behavior. And ultimately, we'll try and bridge the theory with the practice. Moving on, you see that the course requirements include a paper. 20% of the course grade will be a paper. The attendance will be checked every single class period. You'll be granted a total of up to 10 points for each class period. Those 10 points will be your attendance grade, but you'll also be given up to 7 points for attendance, and then up to 3 points for combined article presentations and classroom participation during the course of the class. Therefore, the attendance will measure out as 35% of your overall course grade. Article presentations will be 10% of your course grade. Class participation and any assignments that are given, including the pop quizzes or the 5 exams that we'll have, 5 short exams that will cover the first 5 sections and definitions and names of articles and et cetera, that's going to be 15% of your grade, and then the final exam will count the same as the paper at 20% of your grade. Please note that as far as your paper is concerned, each student will be required to submit a 15-page paper. I'll be looking for you to use APA format. Your paper should survey your present or a past work organization and identify the various moving pieces. Now, as we go through these first 5 or 6 chapters of or sections of the org theory textbook that we're using, the reader that we're using, please note the different schools that we'll be identifying, and I would expect your paper to look at your organization structure, to talk some about the culture, the different school or tradition that your organization seems to fall within. Which school are you individually most closely aligned to? What opportunities for improving positive org change can you identify for yourself and for your organization? How would you achieve that change? What are some potentially negative unintended consequences of that change? So all that I indicate in section A here on your paper, please look at that. Now, on the last day of class, maybe the last couple of days of class, each student will be asked to make a 5-minute, what I call power presentation on the pathology of your organization and your proposed cure. Simply, I'm asking you to look at something that's going wrong, that's not good, that's not well in the health of your organization, and applying org theory principles that we learn in class. Please propose a cure for your unhealthy or sick organization based on org theory schools, org theory practices, and org theory principles. Now, class participation, you'll be expected to participate throughout the semester. We only have 9 class periods, and so it's very, very important that you attend each and you participate in each class period. I'll perhaps at the end of each class or the end of most classes, I'll set aside a few minutes and ask you to reflect on the class discussions and what you've learned, how your perceptions about the subject were impacted. And in doing so, I'll ask you to submit a list of usually 3 but up to 5 questions that if I ask you that same question the following class period, based on what you've learned, you'd be able to answer those 3 questions or those 5 questions, however many you are assigned. I will do that regularly at the end of each class, and so please be prepared to write down questions, comma, the answers to which you would be able to provide the following class period if asked. I'll ask you to write your name and the date on a sheet of paper along with your questions and submit those to me at the end of class. Those question submittals also represent part of your attendance/class participation grade. The only major exam is the final exam. It will count as 20% of the final grade. There will be no makeup exams nor extra credit work granted. The final will be comprehensive. I anticipate it consisting of 5 questions that you'll be required to answer. I may give you a choice of 5 out of 7 or 5 out of 8. However, there will be 5 questions required to be answered on the final exam. It'll be based on information made available through classroom lecture, discussions, videos, guest speakers, field trips, and required text or reserved text. Now, students will have up to 3 hours to complete the final exam. Most students will want to do it online, and I make accommodations for students wanting to take the exam online. We'll talk more about that as the end of the semester or the end of the term progresses and approaches here. Grades will be assigned on an A, B, C, F scale with 90 to 100 an A, and 80 to 89 a B, 70 to 79 a C, and below a 70 is not passing the class at all. The textbooks are listed further into the syllabus, and here's my contact information. You can reach me or get a message to me through the Criminology and Criminal Justice Department at UTA, the City of Arlington, my office telephone number, my email address, or actually this one here now has changed, and let me put in my new email address at UTA. That's theron.bowman@uta.edu is my new UTA email address. Now this page shows the course units of instructions, and we talked some about that in class last time. We're to the second week in class now, where we'll do some more introduction to organizations. We'll talk purpose, design, and we'll do an intro into the classical and neoclassical theory. Now we'll have readings assigned for each class, and those of you who are scheduled to present readings from Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, please be ready. I anticipate going through Chapter 1. We may not get to or all the way through Chapter 2, but please be prepared to do your readings. And then the following class period will complete the section on classical and neoclassical theory, and I anticipate moving into human resource theory and modern HR and modern structural theory the following class. Note that your papers are due on August 10th. August 10th, your papers are due. Your power presentations will be on August 12th. The final exam then on August 17th. Here are the required readings, and as I indicated previously, you will have access to these through your syllabus online. Be sure you take a note, take note, and read the classroom policies, the policies on academic dishonesty, on AD the drop policy, and the myriad of services that the university offers to students and the student body. So please make sure you read the policies and take advantage of the information provided to you by the university. Anyway, I wanted to take this time to review the syllabus with you by video online. That way we don't have to take class time to do the same thing. We can use that class time for the readings, for the presentations, and for more lecture. Anyway, thank you for taking a few minutes to review this, and I look forward to seeing you in class.